Welcome to Psychology the Daf. We are in Gemara Pesachim, Daf Beis. The Gemara quotes a pasuk in Eov in Job 24:14. It says, La'or yokum rotzeach yiktal oni ve'evyon uvalayla yihi chaganav. The murderer arises in the evening to kill the poor and needy, and at night he acts the thief. So this verse raises an important flag about zealotry. All of a sudden over here, the murderer is able to arise early in the morning, and not only that, after a hard day's work, so to speak, he's able to continue and commit his deceitful acts in the nighttime. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, if we find ourselves very energetic to do something, very zealous, excited, we should double check if somehow perhaps it's not as good a deed as we think it is. It's not that we shouldn't be happy and energetic to do good deeds, but we should be a bit suspicious, because it is strange how certain dubious mitzvahs and activities attract a lot of attention and excitement. For example, most people, when they're passionate about a topic, even if it involves lashon hara, they're quick to rationalize and say, it's for a good purpose. This is l'toelis. It's not just regular slander. But yet when it comes to shidduchim, when it comes to creating matches, everybody gets an excess degree of fear of heaven, of Yireh Shamayim, and they don't want to say anything bad because, maybe it'll be unflattering, maybe it'll be lashon hara. Even though when it comes to shidduchim, it's very important that people who are inquiring know the full story. People oftentimes go to extremes to fulfill various minhagim, even if the price that's paid, the amount of machlokas and the pain and the onas dvarim, is far more severe. For example, we know that there are lavin associated with these kinds of things. Lo siya kekorach va'adaso, do not be like Korach and his group that causes strife and disagreement. Lo sonu ishas achiv, don't wrong your friend verbally. So these prohibitions against verbal abuse and causing strife are very serious. They're much more serious than a custom. It's quite ironic that many of the customs in shul are designed by their very nature to reduce controversy, but often they become points of controversy. For example, one is not supposed to pray out loud, different from the nusach, different from whatever the particular tradition is of that shul. Yet, how many times, once somebody does that, does somebody else start picking a fight and telling the person that he's davening incorrectly, thereby causing the whole fight and quarrel that the item itself, that the rule of following the custom was designed to prevent. We all know the proverbial story about the husband that chastises his wife in front of guests for forgetting to cover the challah on Shabbos. Now, one of the reasons for the requirement for covering the challah is to not embarrass the challah when we choose wine for Kiddush over the challah, as we see in Mishnah Berurah 274:41. So it's kind of odd that one would be so concerned about honoring the challah and the mitzvah of challah and not be concerned about another person's opinion. So the upshot of all this is we should be very careful when we feel a degree of holy righteousness and all of a sudden this incredible zeal to wonder, are we fulfilling the dictates of our pure desires, or are we fulfilling the dictates of our more baser desires? Because sometimes when we find energy to be a zealot, like described over there in the verse in Eov, we can get up very early in the morning.